Last week here on Thursday Night Thunder, we saw the brand new Tech Deck Rec Deck eliminate the Raminator inside of the final round showdown. Will the new kid on the block hang on to the championship flag? We find out next.
It's time for big horsepower and big hair. You're watching Monster Truck Attitude.
Welcome in, Monster Truck fans, to week 2 of the May season here tonight on Thursday Night Thunder. If you're new here, be sure to crush that subscribe button, like the video, leave a comment down below, and we're getting ready for some awesome side-by-side Diecast Monster Truck Racing. Tech Deck Rec Tech is the truck to beat here tonight. Ernest Joseph shocked the world with his MTA debut, taking home the championship flag in his very first appearance. He's got 15 other trucks staring at that flag on the back of that rec deck, trying to all walk away with a championship win here tonight. But first, we're going to be taking a look at how round 1 action is going to be unfolding. Wildfire set to take on Excaliber. Escalade coming back to take on Carolina Crusher. Then we're taking a look at the Gravedigger, going to go one-on-one with Iron Man. Then King Sling takes on the Raminator in the first half of round 1. Other side of your bracket, we're taking a look at Traxxas T-Max going one-on-one with Reptoid. Bad Company is back, taking on Gas Monkey. Jurassic Attack in the house to take on No Problem. And then last but not least, Jimmy Cartwright and Alien is back. He gets first crack at the champion, Ernest Joseph, in the all-new Tech Deck Rec Deck. Now coming to the line first here tonight to get us started inside of round 1. Corbin Johnson returns here tonight. Had a major upset last week, eliminating Bradley Graham and King Sling. Tonight, he goes one-on-one with one of the Crushless boys. That's Josh Rhodes in the Excaliber Chevrolet. There you see him on the outside lane. Who moves on to round 2? The green light drops down now. Excaliber with a big-time lead. Here comes Wildfire on the inside. Almost makes up the ground there on the big end of the track as Josh Rhodes and Excaliber got a little crossed up over the van stack there in the center of the track. We go back now and take another look at the photo finish. It was Excaliber by mere inches here tonight over the Wildfire machine. Next up in round 1 competition, we're taking a look at Pete Piscadlo in the Carolina Crusher Chevrolet. He's about to go one-on-one with Jeremy Hiles, the punk with all the junk. There you see him over there on the outside lane. If you remember last week, Pete Piscadlo went for that wild ride and a nose wheelie. Carolina Crusher ready to go on the inside lane. Who's it going to be moving on into round 2? The green light drops down now, side by side. They go down the straightaway, up and over the cars. Now Carolina Crusher in trouble. Pete Piscadlo goes for another wild ride here on Thursday Night Thunder inside of the May season. Not sure what happened to Jeremy Hiles in an Escalade over there on the outside lane. We're going to recap it right here. Take another look at the replay. Pete Piscadlo on the straight and narrow path. Escalade having all kinds of trouble over there. There you see the wild ride by Carolina Crusher here tonight. He gets it woed in the shutdown area in a wild fashion. So right now, our MTA track crew and officials are running down there now. He's out of the truck waving to the fans. We're not sure what kind of damage may have been done to the Carolina Crusher. All the boys are going to be down there in the pits. We'll have an update later on tonight and see if he's going to be able to make it back for our round 2 competition. But Carolina Crusher throwing the fans here tonight. He does put the Bowtie Chevrolet inside a round 2 competition here tonight on Thunder. Next up in our round 1 action, however, is the return of Kelsey McLean out of the McLean County Monsters in the Blonde of the Bone Gravedigger. Over here on the inside lane, she'll now be taking on Liam Howington, your Velocity champion, coming out of the March season earlier, and now he's getting ready to go one-on-one with the Gravedigger. We'll see what he's got. Here's the green light as they go down the straightaway. Gravedigger with a slight lead, but Iron Man right there with her up and over the final set of cars, and Iron Man will pull it out here tonight on Thunder over the Gravedigger. An incredible race here tonight. Iron Man just a little too fast on the outside lane. Next up in our round 1 competition, we're taking a look at the returning King of Kings, Bradley Graham and King Sling. He got eliminated last week from Wildfire in round 1. He will now take on an arch rival. That's Dana Gosh out of Champaign, Illinois. The Dodge Raminator ready to go. It's Renegades taking on Crushless in round 1. Green light goes down off the line. King Sling's got a whole job, and Raminator right there with a opponent lead on him now in the final set of cars. What a matchup it is here tonight. Crushless taking on the Renegade boys, and we're going to go back and take another look at our replay because that was way too close to call up here in the booth as they went across that final set of cars. Raminator with a slight lead here in no man's land. He puts down the Dodge horsepower over the final set of cars that go. It wasn't by much, but Dana Gosh and the Raminator take home a win here tonight over Bradley Graham and King Sling, and that's been giving him all kinds of trouble. A truck that made it all the way to the finals at Monster Mania 7 has yet to get out of round 1 here tonight on Thursday Night Thunder or last week. And right now we're taking a look as we move on with round one. Nathaniel Wiggins returning here tonight. The Traxxas T-Max. He'll now be taking on Declan Keller in the Reptoid machine out of Jacksonville, Florida, over here on the inside lane. Who's going to be going to round two? The green light will drop down now. T-Max and Reptoid side by side. Up there with the first jump and settling down now. And over goes T-Max on the outside lane. How about Declan Keller keeping it on the straight and narrow path? Reptoid looks strong, and T-Max was all out of shape over the final jump here. Watch him settle it down in no man's land. It's a good shootout over here of the final set of cars. Reptoid gets a little crossed up, and T-Max on two wheels, nowhere to go but upside down, much like we saw the Carolina Crusher Chevrolet do earlier tonight. Right now, the MTA track crew officials are trying to get him off of that car stack down there inside of the shutdown area, and Nathaniel Wiggins giving the fans what they want to see. Some high-flying, car-crushing carnage here tonight on Thursday Night Thunder. Hopefully, he'll be back later on tonight inside of round two. We'll have an update later on down in the pit area. As we move along inside of round one, Brad Anderson returns in the Bad Company Chevrolet, driving for the Renegades Motorsports race team. There you see him on the outside lane. He's now going to go one-on-one with Jason Sensation Craddock out of the K&J Motorsports race team, the Mopar camp out of Dallas, Texas. Who's going to be going to round two? Dodge and Chevrolet. Here's the green light as they come down that straightaway now. Bad Company with a slight lead gas monkey trying to make up the ground. And Bad Company will spin it out down inside of the shutdown area. We're going to go back here, take another look at Gas Monkey on the inside lane. He hits down here in no man's land, gets a little bobbled up. That kind of shut down his momentum, giving Brad Anderson and Bad Company a wild ride over there on the outside lane. He'll be moving on into round two competition here tonight. Another driver out of the K&J Motorsports race team, Iron Mike Lanford, an MTA original. He's been with us since day one. The No Problem Ford Bronco over here on the outside lane, a truck he built and sent down here to the MTA compound. He's now ready to take on Brad Shaw out of the Crush This race team. Jurassic Attack ready to go. Green light will drop down now. K&J taking on Crush This. Up now over the first jump. Found problems and trouble. And Jurassic Attack will come away with the victory here tonight in round one. Mike Lanford and No Problem has ended up in Jurassic Attack's racing lane. We're going to go back and check out the Thursday Night Thunder replay here, try to figure out what happened. Not sure if something went cattywampus with the steering or maybe broke a sway bar, but it shot him towards the inside of the track. Luckily, he did not tag Jurassic Attack there. So Brad Shaw will move on into our round two action. Next up here tonight to close out round one is the return of Jim Cartwright and Alien, another driver who built his own truck, sent it in here to the MTA compound, and that thing had a streak like I'd never seen before. An awesome job on the build. He's now taking on the new defending champion, Ernest Joseph, Tech Deck Wreck Deck, over here on the inside lane. Can Alien get the flag back here tonight? Round one, green light drops down. Alien's got a slight lead. Wreck Deck in trouble, and Alien will get the job. Oh, look out. He turns it over in the shutdown area on top of the van stack. He knew that Tech Deck Wreck Deck was going to try to run him. The new kid on the block came into the event with a chip on his shoulder. Watch right here as they go up and over the first jump. Ernest Joseph and Tech Deck Wreck Deck gets a little out of shape over that final jump. Kind of lost his momentum, and Alien will come away with a victory, but not without a cost as he turns it upside down in that shutdown area of the track. Well, speaking of rolling some trucks over earlier tonight, you saw Alien just rolling over in that final race of round one. But the big time story is going to be Pete Piscadlo in the Carolina Crusher Chevrolet. He went end over end down there with the final set of cars. The crew's going over the truck. They say he should be able to make it back for round two. And then you got T-Max over here in the corner. Those guys are thrashing as well. So speaking of round two, we're going to be taking a look at how it breaks down. Starting with 16 trucks, we're now down to 8. And Excaliber is going to be taking on Carolina Crusher in that first matchup. Then Iron Man's going to go one-on-one with the Raminator Dodge to get us through the first half of round two. Next up, we're taking a look at T-Max. He'll be back taking on Bad Company. And then the final matchup of round two, Jurassic Attack, will take on Alien. And right now, coming to the line is going to be Pete Piscadlo, the Carolina Crusher Chevrolet, who we were just talking about down in the pit area. He will go one-on-one with Josh Rhodes in the Excaliber Chevrolet over here on the outside lane. Your 2024 Halloween Madness champion driving for the Crush This race team. We'll see what he's got against the Carolina Crusher on the inside lane. Battle of the bow tie here tonight in round two. The green light drops down side by side. They go. Excaliber with a slight lead, and Carolina Crusher trying to make up the ground, unable to do so. It was almost like he lost power, but nonetheless, Excaliber will move on in the semifinal competition here tonight. Next up in round 2, 𝐷𝐴𝐴 returns out of the Crush This Race team. The Dodge Hemi Horsepower Raminator set now to take on 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐜𝐫𝐿, who looked strong earlier tonight in round 1. He eliminated Gravedigger earlier. He's trying to get to semifinal competition. He's got to go through a tall order in the Raminator Dodge on the inside. Here's the green light. They drop it down there side by side down the straightaway now, pretty even over the no man's land, and what a matchup it was in a finish here tonight from the Raminator and Iron Man. Both of them getting it up on 2 wheels down here inside of the shutdown area. Let's go back and take another look. It was a close matchup through and through. Right here, they settle it down in no man's land. Shootout now over the final set of cars, and the Raminator will pull it out, and both of them getting a little scary down there inside of that shutdown area. But Raminator will match up against his teammate in semifinals in Excaliber. But right now we're moving along in round 2. Brad Anderson returning here tonight. The Bad Company Chevrolet driving for the Renegades Motorsports race team on the inside, taking on Nathaniel Wiggins and the Traxxas T-Max. We saw him roll that truck over earlier tonight inside of round 1. You gotta wonder if he's at 100%. Green light goes down. Ford and Chevrolet, Bad Company on the inside, pretty even now through. Oh, look out, T-Max turns it over, and Anderson will come away with a victory. The Bad Company Chevrolet gets the job done here tonight inside of round 2. We got to go back and try to figure out what happened to the T-Max machine on the outside lane. Here they are pretty even now, up and over the first jump. T-Max just a little crossed up as he came over that first jump, rolling the truck over. Bad Company will move on into our semifinal competition. Now we get ready to close out round 2 action. Jim Cartwright returns in the Alien Machine, again a truck he built, sent up here to the MTA compound at a Whole Shot Motorsports. He will now take on Brad Shaw out of the Crush This Race team, Jurassic Attack, looking to do good things. He's got a tall order. Don't think he doesn't remember the streak that Alien had earlier this season. Here's the green light down the straightaway they go. Alien's got a small lead on him now. Jurassic Attack trying to make up the ground. He'll turn it over just before the finish line. Bradshaw got kind of crossed up in the no man's land area of the track. We're going to go back to the replay and show you what I'm talking about. Watch as they come up and over the first jump. We're going to zoom in on it. He's holding pretty strong against Alien down the straightaway. Watch now over the first jump. He hits in no man's land, gets a little bobbled up right there. He tried to gather it up over that final jump and gets crossed up on the car stack right before the finish line. And Jim Cartwright and Alien will move on into our semifinal competition. Now earlier tonight, if you remember me talking about 𝐃𝐨𝐽 and Carolina Crusher, it seemed like he lost power against Excaliber in that race. Well, we went down to the pits. We talked to his crew chief. Sure enough, they threw a rod through the side of the block. It's time for a brand new motor inside of the Carolina Crusher Chevrolet. He will be back next week, confirmed by the crew chief and the driver. So hopefully they'll get that truck back and ready to go, dialed in, and set the timing before next week's event. A lot of thrashing to do down there on Carolina Crusher, but it's not going to stop us from moving on. We're back with semifinal action. Excaliber taking on Raminator, a battle of the Crush This boys. Other side of the bracket, Bad Company set to take on Alien. Who's going to be making it to the final round showdown here tonight? Well, we're down to the final 4. 𝐷𝐴𝐴 out of the Crush This Race team, Raminator ready to go. He's now taking on his very own teammate, Josh Rhodes, inside of the Excaliber Chevrolet. There you see him on the inside lane. Both drivers have been running really strong all night. One of them's going to the finals. Who's it going to be? Dodge and Chevrolet as we go green down the straight stretch. They're side by side now through no man's land. Excaliber in trouble. He turns it over. What a ride for Josh Rhodes, and look at the way he ends it off here in the shutdown area. The fans have come unglued here tonight on the Thursday Night Thunder Arena and the Dodge Raminator. We got to go back and take another look at this replay. Up and over the first jump, Excaliber starts to pull a lead on him right there through no man's land. He sets it on the final set of cars, gets a little crossed up. Not sure if something gave way on the truck, but Excaliber will be in the final round showdown as he takes out the Dodge Raminator. So who are we going to see in the finals with Excaliber? Brad Anderson coming from the Renegades Motorsports race team, the Bad Company Chevrolet on the inside lane. There you see Jim Cartwright and Alien on the outside, representing his new team, Whole Shot Motorsports. He wants that flag back. It's anybody's ball game. The green light goes down. Alien's got a strong lead up now over the cars. He's in trouble, and Anderson will come away with a win here in the semifinal matchup. What a ride it was for Jimmy Cartwright and Alien. He gets crossed up over that second jump to the final set of cars. He has a good about truck length lead over Bad Company. Noses over hard on that first jump. Gets a little out of shape, and that was all Anderson needed to get to the final round showdown here tonight. And that will set the tone for the finals. Renegades, Crush This, Bad Company, and Excaliber. All that is next. And ladies and gentlemen, be sure to join Bradshaw and Dana Gosh Tuesday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern Time over on YouTube and Facebook for the Crush This podcast as they break down interviews from your favorite drivers and crew members. It is now time for the final round showdown here in week 2 of the May season on Thursday Night Thunder. Brad Anderson returns in the Bad Company Chevrolet, out here driving for the Renegades Motorsports race team. There you see him, ready to go on the outside. Josh Rhodes representing the Crush This race team, Excaliber Chevrolet, ready to go on the inside lane. Who's going to take brand supremacy here tonight? Crush This, Renegades. It's showtime here tonight. Bad Company and Excaliber down the straightaway. Excaliber with a side lead. He's in trouble now. Anderson calls it out at the end, and over goes Josh Rhodes for the second time tonight, almost in the same fashion as he did earlier in semifinal competition. He lays it up on the bus stack down there. We've got to go back and check out the final round showdown replay. Both drivers are pretty much even down this straightaway, side by side as they go. Slightly to Excaliber now, approaching the first jump, settles it down in no man's land, gets a little out of shape, and he gets crossed up over the final set of cars, and Brad Anderson and Bad Company will come away with a victory here tonight in a super close race. The hairs on my arms are standing up, ladies and gentlemen, but right now, your winner here tonight, week 2 of the May season, out of the Renegades Motorsports race team, Brad Anderson, Bad Company. A wild, incredible, exciting night here on Thursday Night Thunder, week 2 of the May season. Thank you guys so much for coming out and joining us right here on the MTA YouTube channel. Be sure, if you haven't already, crush that subscribe button, and I'll catch you down the road.
Standing tall up in victory lane, I done brought the pain and now they screaming my name. Yeah, everybody saw me rock the place. Now there's flashbulbs are popping and mics in my face. Always giving the crowd what they need. Now they're wearing my shirts front row to nosebleed. Now the crowd forms is what it's all about. Signing autographs until the lights out. Yeah, it's about that. It's about that. It's been a long time. It's about that time. It's about that. 'Cause it's about that.